I have a tiny head. Okay.
Hi!
Hello! What is up?
What's up? So it's been a while since we've talked to you guys last. Sorry.
Mianeo.
We've been on vacation.
Yes.
And we went to Seoul, which was awesome.
It was great.
It was lots of
It was a
food.
really good vacation.
Yeah, so much food.
Did a lot of things.
Yeah.
Got new cell phones.
Too much.
Got
Too
new
much,
phones.
honestly.
Yeah, we played a little
We
too
did a
much.
little too much. We were very tired.
Yeah, but I mean, from literally the day we posted our first video, we were on vacation for a month. So no school,
Nothing.
No responsibilities.
No, it was honestly such an amazing month. I don't think I've ever had a month off.
No,
since I
paid
started
month off.
Yeah, since I started working.
So it's like, it's not just like we were like, oh, let's take a month off and we're not gonna get paid. It's like, no, we got
paid.
our full salary paid. Thanks.
We got paid real good.
Yeah, we have really, really good contracts. So yeah, we had a month off.
Yep.
We went to Seoul on vacation.
I already said that.
We moved apartments.
Yes, we did. We moved apartments. So as soon as we got back from Seoul, we had to immediately start packing and move down just 5 floors.
Yep.
So it wasn't too bad.
Same building. Just 5 floors down. And the layout is the exact same, just
switched.
Flipped.
You gotta say the line.
I don't know what to do with my hands.
Yeah, there you go.
Maybe I am an alien.
Okay, anyway.
So moved downstairs, same building, all that jazz. We will do a new and improved apartment tour in another video, kind of give you guys a layout of maybe what you can expect as far as the apartment.
Probably our building as well, and like with the trash and all that. But that's for another video. Let's talk about today's video. So on today's video, we're going to talk about kind of our timeline of how we got to Korea and like the cost of it all. So as we said in our last video, he's the money guy. He is the money.
All about the wands, baby.
Math, budgeting.
No Benjamins.
No Benjamins, but he's the budgeting, money, finance, figuring all of our lives out guy.
Yeah, I'm definitely the more frugal.
Out of the two of us.
I'm definitely the more like stick to the budget.
Yeah.
Especially because we are here for a specific reason, and that is to pay back debt.
Yeah.
Because the more we can like pay back our debt and save, then the quicker we can move back home.
Not that we don't like it here, we love it here. But you know, we also do miss. For those who are in Florida, we miss Public.
The Southeast, really.
I mean, I know
Publix
Georgia
is taken over. Anyway.
Moving on.
Getting sidetracked.
I do want to preface this by saying we are a couple.
Yes. Obviously.
Obviously.
Like we said in our first video.
So that's
if you've watched.
Impact.
If not, go back and check that one out. And yeah, so most of our timeline is going to include like having to do 2 of everything, basically. But we will kind of give a breakdown of what it costs for both of us and a separate kind of estimation, as well as some new information we learned because we live in different times now. It was different. We were just starting a global pandemic and everything was different, and life will never be the same. I will never eat a birthday cake again that someone has blown out the candles on, because that's just gross. That's gross. Why do we do that?
About how we just put our fingers into bowling balls.
Shared drinks.
Public transportation.
I love them. But all you can eat buffets.
Oh, disgusting. Why? Coronavirus. No, never again.
It's just
never again.
Yeah. So there are things that will never go back to normal, because life is no longer normal.
Yeah. Video is probably going to be one of the longest ones we've ever done.
Yeah.
And we will ever do. We're throwing a lot of information at you guys.
Yeah.
So we want to make sure that we're thorough and we never have to like really touch this subject again, because our other videos will be much more entertaining.
We will put in timestamps, so if you kind of just want to skip ahead to the next section or just kind of skip ahead in general, or
Give us another view.
Yeah, you know. You do you.
Yeah, because we know we have lots of friends and family who want to support us, but don't necessarily want to sit through an hour and a half of us talking about our timeline. But they might be curious, you know, who knows?
That's true.
We don't know.
That's true. We will find out.
We will find out because we have YouTube Studio. But we will
analytics.
find out. Just another PSA, all of the companies that we used to get here, like the TEFL and like the sending of the documents and all of that, I will put in the description box. It won't necessarily be something we say, that way it's written down, and I'll include websites. And then the actual number of amount of money we've spent, which we will continually update both individual and dual, will be somewhere down here. That's your fingers huge, holy crap.
Wow. Here.
Somewhere.
I know how to work a camera. Here.
Yeah, we're still new to this camera thing.
So yeah, we might either just do like on one side, we'll do like individual, the other side,
or it might be maybe
accumulative,
right here in this empty space. I don't know.
We'll
I'll figure it out post
production.
I don't. What do they call that? Post
production.
Post production. I don't know. They have to have some sort of like shorter version because that's just a lot of time you're spending just saying post production.
PP.
Okay, we're gonna call it that from now on. Post PP. No, I just said post PP.
PPP.
PPP. So I think to start, we should talk about our TEFL. So I think that was the first amount of money we spent.
Yeah. So after we decided we're doing this thing, we're gonna.
It was like January of 2019.
Yeah, it was like just after the new year. We were like, yeah, let's do it. Let's, you know, we're young. We ain't got no kids.
We're dinks.
We're dinks.
Dual income, no kids.
Yeah. TEFL was the first thing we purchased. So the thing with the TEFL is there's two ways you can do it. You can do a TEFL online, all online, and that is completely fine. That's how we did ours.
More convenient.
It is more convenient for sure. Or depending on your city.
Specifically Busan too.
I meant more of like if your city in America offers it, or whatever country you're from, South Africa, Ireland, any of the English-speaking countries. So anyways. So, like, for example, our city, Orlando, Florida, they offered an in-class TEFL, but it's, like, significantly more expensive.
Yeah, it was, like, what, $1,500?
Yeah,
it was a lot, because there's two of us. There's dual of us. Because there's two of us, it would have to cost double the amount. So, like she was saying, some cities in Korea, Busan specifically, which is in the south of the country, specifically they want like an in-class TEFL certificate, or you have to have a master's in teaching. Yeah, you have to like go into a TEFL course and like have an in-class in-class portion where you teach and you have a live teacher as well. Like our TEFL consists of literally just online classes, and this is a fun little tip, but you can actually go on Groupon and they have like really cheap TEFL prices for like $10. Yeah. Facts.
But if I'm spitting straight facts, then you don't need to edit anything. You just let it roll. You know? Like one, you know, like a movie director who just has one continuous shot.
But this is only our second time recording.
Yeah, we're pros. We got 134 views. I mean, we're YouTube.
Basically famous.
Famous. Like no autographs, please.
Well, I was gonna say we'll charge you for autographs because we're trying to pay back loans.
Okay, so.
Okay.
What were you gonna say?
I don't remember.
Oh. Well.
I think you're cute. That's what I was gonna say.
Thanks.
Yeah.
You're beautiful.
Aww.
Thanks. Our TEFL, we got that in January. It was, I want to say it was like the first or second week of January.
I think it was like mid-January.
Mid-January. It was a time in January that we got our TEFL, we started our TEFL program. So we, did some research because there's so many
companies.
So many companies. And
well, like we wrote down, I wish I had that book still. We wrote down like
yeah.
a comparison list between the companies, like what their benefits were, how many hours on the TEFL that they offered, because what's the amount that we have? We got extra hours.
Ours is, I want to say ours is 168.
I don't know. I'll put it somewhere down here. So we got extra hours with ours, but it was just also comparing the prices, because like some of them were really, really expensive, like we said. Like,
and then we found one that was basically they were running a New Year's special. So we
I feel like
got,
they run those constantly.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those like, hey, this is a limited time offer, and then it's like the next person's like, hey, this is a limited time offer. Only until this day, and then after this day, we're gonna redo that offer.
Yeah. So buy it now.
So aggressive.
So
yeah, so we got our TEFL. We went with a company called the TEFL Academy.
Yeah.
They are based out of Dublin, Ireland.
We had 6 months to complete.
So they give you a 6-month time span to start and complete it.
At first, we were just like, we're gonna get this done in 3 months. Yeah.
We were super amped up about it. We're like, we're gonna get all this done in a month.
It took us about 6 months to complete it, which was, we completed it by the due date essentially, but so that wasn't a big deal. The cost, I think, was $200 each.
So like after taxes and everything with our special discount, we each paid $210.
We had done research before and during this time span and figured out like what we specifically needed, what documents we needed. Mr. Budget Boy over here, that's his nickname from now on. Budget Boy.
Can I be like Budget Man, so at least I sound like a superhero, not a sidekick?
But then there's no like BB. Budget Bro?
No, that's too bro.
Budget Buster.
No.
Budget.
The Braun Budgeter. Anyway.
So Mr. Budget Boy, Mr. Bronze Budgeter over here decided to basically start accumulating the amount of everything and like how much it would cost us.
Yeah, and like we said, there's so many people have done this.
Yeah.
Not a lot of couples or married people, but there's a lot of information as far as like individuals doing this. So there are a lot of different blogs, vlogs. We watched a ton of YouTube videos, a ton of
What was the next thing that we bought after
that? It was mostly like school documents. So when you are applying to EPIK, you do need 2 sealed copies of your college transcripts.
And you also need your diploma. We'll talk about that in a minute though.
Yeah. The one thing that we learned afterwards was that the information we had gathered told us we needed diploma from the college we had graduated from, but we needed transcripts from every college we attended.
And we both attended 3.
We both ended up paying more than we needed to.
Yeah, for sure. It wasn't a lot more.
Yeah.
It was maybe $100 extra total.
But we ended up finding out we only needed the college we graduated from those transcripts.
Yeah, exactly.
So my college transcripts for 2 copies of the college I only needed was $30. For Sarah, it was also an extra $15 $30 from the college you graduated from. It really depends on your college.
It really does depend on which college you go to.
So for my extra copy of my diploma, it was $35. Sarah's was $10.
I would recommend getting expedited just in case, just because like the timeline is very sensitive. Of, like when you send things in, it all depends on. I'll talk about that in a minute, but like it all depends on your placement. So the quicker you send stuff in, the quicker that you'll get placed. So having things quicker is more important. And my diploma took literally 2 months. I ordered it in August and it got to me by October. No, it was 3 months.
Really? It was that late?
I looked at the email like literally
Dang.
2 days ago. Yeah, it took a long time. So get everything expedited as quickly as
possible.
you can.
Yeah.
If you don't, or start earlier.
Start early. Like we started early.
Start early.
I would say also throughout like the year we did small things that we could do, either like cheap. So like one thing that we did was you need 2 letters of recommendation. So we got like our letters.
That doesn't cost anything.
That doesn't cost anything. You just need 2 people that will recommend you.
Yeah.
You will need passport photos.
Yeah. Here's a little hack for you. Go ahead.
Little hack. If you got a white wall, just dress up nice like you would for your passport photo. Yeah. Take a nice photo from here up.
Yeah, the measurements are very specific. It's very zoomed in on your face. Like it literally is like neck up and like you barely see your shoulders.
So we got dressed. We took our passport photos at our house with our phones, and then we literally like uploaded them onto a thumb drive, and then we went to Walgreens and printed them out. And
we still have copies.
It was like $10,
Yeah.
and we each got like it was like 12 passport photos.
We did. No, it was.
And you
it
do
was
need
12.
multiple copies, so
you need at least 2, I think, for the application.
And then like on top of that, if you decide to you obviously come to Korea and stay, you will need more passport photos. You can obviously get them done here,
Yeah, they're everywhere.
but it's kind of handy to just have them. You don't have to really
yeah.
wait. You don't have to go do something.
You just cut another piece off and you
Yeah,
just go. Go about your business. Now we're gonna start our timeline. It's very long, but very detailed. So we're gonna basically, how this is gonna work is I'm gonna read off like what we did, and he's gonna jump in if there's any costs, how much it costs.
Because I'm the budget.
Yeah,
The brawn budgeter.
Brawn budget.
I'll figure something out.
Okay.
The guy who does the money thing.
Okay, so on August 10th of 2019 is when we first applied to Corvia. So Corvia specifically is basically...
They're a recruiter.
They're a recruiter. They held our hand a little bit while we applied. You don't have to use one at all, but they are recommended to first-time users, I guess, if you want to, just because they will help you apply and help you like edit your lesson plan and be like, oh, you need to change this, and then we'll send it in. Because for the actual application to Corvia, you need to basically apply to EPIK, and to apply to EPIK, you needed to create a lesson plan.
Yeah.
Like a detailed lesson plan where it had
and also like 3 short essays about like teaching philosophy and cultural shock and all sorts of things.
Yeah, so like it took us, what if you could guess, maybe 3 hours, 2 hours? Because we had practiced writing our essays before, so it's just a copy paste thing.
Basically, yeah, like we had like basically it's like a PDF of the application on the EPIK website, and we basically downloaded like the year previous. 2 things. One, we didn't mention this, Corvia is our favorite price. It's free.
By the way, any recruiter that charges is not a true
It's a
recruiter.
scam.
It's a scam.
All the recruiters are supposed to be free.
Yeah.
So if a recruiter reaches out to you and they're like, oh, we can get you this job and it's this price, don't do it.
No.
Just say no.
Like I said earlier, it's a first come first served basis, but that also applies to Corvia.
Yeah.
So the earlier you apply to Corvia, the earlier they'll submit your documents and your application to EPIK.
Yes.
So by going through a recruiter, you're basically delaying your application a month. So that's the downside of going through a recruiter. But they also, I mean, it doesn't mean you won't get placed. It doesn't, obviously we got placed. Like it doesn't mean you won't get a spot. Like I'm not trying to scare you into saying don't use a recruiter. Rawr. But that is the downside. So you have to weigh the pros and cons. So basically we applied on August 10th. We were gonna apply on August 1st, but we just didn't. Life. As a precursor, almost every delayed thing or insane thing that we dealt with was because we were dealing with so much at the time. Like
life things.
It was honestly a wild year. Like I think we said that so many times in our previous video. Like it was a wild year.
So much stuff.
And then we also like to relax, so that was hard. So So the next thing we did, or the next thing that happened was on August 12th, 2 days after our application, we basically got an invite to interview with Corvia so they could approve us.
Be prepared for this interview and your other interview to be at like 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, because of the time
difference.
So our interview was actually August 23rd. So what's the days? 12?
What?
13?
11 days.
11 days after we got the invite to do our interview, we had our interview. Nerve-wracking. We had the day off after, but we were just so our interviews were back to back, and we basically had the same person we interviewed with.
Yeah.
And I don't remember if it was EPIK or if it was Corvia, but they were like, "Hey, same background."
Yeah. We both just used the same computer.
Yeah, we used the same room. Like,
Yeah.
it was so funny. Just another little side note. When you were doing your interview, I was standing in our closet, like listening to you talk. And
That's
stuff.
okay. When you were doing your interview, I was sitting in our hallway with my ear to the door. So, yeah.
Good to know. We were both listening. And
I mean, but at that point, I had already done my interview,
Yeah.
so I didn't need to worry about what it was. I was just
wanted
curious how
yeah,
hers was
and
going.
I also wanted to make sure that you did okay, and because I was really nervous for you. I was nervous for me. So then on the 29th of August, 5 days after our interview, I sent an email because we do have a cat, kind of just wondering if we could split our time between a Hagwon and an EPIK contract. So
Yeah, because the whole time we were planning on bringing our cat, and
we had done some research and we saw that it was possible.
it was possible,
Yeah.
and then we got our contract, like the application for EPIK. One of the things on there that you have to basically agree to is
Yeah.
that you won't have pets.
Yeah, so
Or
we
bring
basically were
pets.
trying to find a way to bring him.
Yeah.
We ultimately, obviously, did not end up bringing our poor little baby child son. He's our child. It's fine.
I miss him so much.
It's fine. We cry all the time. But, so I sent an email to her just asking. She said it wasn't possible. So obviously we decided
Yeah.
then not to bring him. It was a very sad time, but just so you guys are aware, it is next to impossible to bring a cat or a pet. Specifically,
It's not
I would
easy.
say you cannot bring a big dog. I would say it's possible to bring a small dog and a cat, but you would need to either take out a stipend or change to a Hagwon.
Which is a private academy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So after that, we had to start scrambling to find someone to take
Yeah.
our cat.
My mom ended up taking him. Thank you, Mom.
Thanks.
And we get pictures of him all the time. Anyway, so
Let's not talk about that.
2 days later, we were accepted by Corvia, and they sent our application to EPIK. So basically, there was
About a little less than a month, like
Yeah.
20 days
between
from the time
when we applied to when they sent in our application. And then on the 27th, basically a whole month later of waiting. A lot of this game is just waiting.
Yeah, so
there's plenty of months skipped.
if you got problems with anxiety or
worrying,
stressing about worrying, stuff like that,
try really, really hard. Just
I know
be
it's
distracted.
easier said than done.
For sure. Just
Try to not let it get to you, because
just get distracted. Start planning like what you're gonna do, how you're
yeah,
gonna live.
I mean,
like,
luckily
packing, all of that.
in
Or
this time
working.
we were also planning our wedding, so we had plenty
Very
to distract us,
yeah.
but like it was still very much, even in the middle of planning a wedding, we're like, when are we getting this email?
Yeah.
They don't like us, we're not going.
Because we got married in September, on September 26th, and the day after I got an email about asking me to edit my lesson plan. So it was
Yeah.
literally like, thank God we had that break time in between.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I think it would have been a little bit more chaotic. So for our lesson plans, we specifically I targeted middle school, he targeted elementary school. I was asked to edit mine, and like looking back, mine was so complicated. It was so hard. Mine was high school level.
Mine was probably
for sure.
even complicated for elementary.
Oh my gosh, like looking back, like I now know that no middle schooler could have grasped the concept.
Yeah.
So then
And I will say, sorry
No,
to
it's
cut you off. One of the reasons it kind of took, it was delayed, or I think, in my opinion, I think one of the reasons it took a little longer, it was because we filed our application jointly as a married couple.
Yeah.
So obviously when it's a single person, it takes a little quicker.
Yeah,
but when it's for two people, they have to kind of go through both.
So on the 10th of October, 2 days after my birthday, happy birthday, we got asked to interview with EPIK, which is the big guns, the big
show,
the big nerve-wracking one. So the interview wasn't until the 23rd, so it was basically a full 13 days later.
Yeah.
So again, that's a lot of waiting, a lot of anticipation. But in between that time, on the 22nd, not really in between that time, that's the day before, we sent in our fingerprints for our background check. So now Josh is going to take over.
Yeah,
with
so
the price.
Fingerprints, it depends on how you go about it. We went through, we originally were going to go through this company called Accurate Biometrics. Something happened, but we found out you can go to basically any local police department and get physical copies, because the company we were going to use, they do all electronic, and then they just send it.
Yeah.
We had to do an actual physical card. But for us, it cost $15 each cash.
It took 5 minutes.
And it was 10 minutes. But anyway.
A whole extra 5.
It took 10 minutes each. It was really simple.
So the 23rd is when we had our actual EPIK interview. That was incredibly nerve-wracking because we both don't do well with anxiety or important events. I feel like nobody really does well. You have to be real confident in who you are to be I'm gonna nail this. I'm one of those people that I don't get nervous until the day of, and then the closer and closer it gets, the more and more nervous I get, and then as soon as it happens, I'm usually okay. Yeah, I think the EPIK interview was the one where hey, same background. I also complimented the girl's shirt, and she was like, oh, you'll fit in great here, and I was like, that tells me we got the job. So the next day, actually, they told us we passed our interview, which was exciting news.
Whoop, whoop.
We were finally gonna get out of Starbucks's grasp on our lives and be able to pay back his student loans.
Financial freedom.
Yeah, honestly, guys.
Freedom.
But then on the 30th, so 6 days later, October 30th, we sent in all of our documents for apostling and what's it called? Apostling notarization.
So you have to get your FBI background check, which, sorry, we forgot to mention. So we got our fingerprints, $15 each. Then we sent that in for our FBI background check. FBI background check through obviously the FBI. Going to be different in different countries. Ours were $75 each. So we will add that down below. And then after our interview, they were like, okay, get all your documents ready, send them in. So a few days later, we had to get we got our background checks back, and we were not criminals. And we had to get them sent to get notarized and apostled.
What was the company we used?
The company we used was Monument Visa Services. It was basically...
They were recommended. I think Corvia recommends certain websites that you can use and certain companies.
Yeah.
So we had gotten Monument Visa from Corvia.
Corvia, I believe, yeah. So it was...
And by the way, even if you don't choose Corvia or choose any recruiter, their website is free. And you can have access to all of this information. So you don't need to be part of their program to know what companies to use. So
the company we went through was $50 per document. So with the FBI background check and our diplomas, it was $50 each to get them apostilled and notarized, and then an extra $30 we paid for them to be expedited. So for me it was $130, for her it was $130, $260 put together. We'll add that down below.
Yeah. So then we literally received all the documents on the 5th of November. Remember, the 5th of November. Okay, I'm done. So we received, don't leave. We received all the documents, and then literally we turned right back around and just sent them all back, or we sent them all to Corvia.
Yeah.
The same day.
Not a rule of thumb, but I would say definitely a piece of advice. Send all your documents in at once. It'll save you postage, because it's not cheap to send things to Korea.
Really not.
It was a very hefty envelope, and it cost us $140 to send everything.
We also had to buy the actual envelope.
The mailer.
I don't remember how much it was, but we bought
it was in that cost.
The extra padding.
Yeah.
Because we did not want those bent, because they're very official.
Yeah.
And then on 3 days later, on the 8th, we paid for like expedited shipping because, like we said, and I've said a bazillion times by now, first come, first serve. So the faster you get your documents and the faster you get everything in,
more likely you are to get a job.
The quicker you will be placed, and more likely, because it's, you know, they've got a specific number that they have to fill. Anyway, so on the 8th, Corvia confirmed that our documents were received, and then they sent them immediately to EPIK. And because Korea is such a small country, it was in the same day that they got them and then sent them to EPIK. Basically what they do is Corvia receives all of your stuff, make sure you have everything. If you don't, then you obviously have to send extra copies. But we had like quadruple checked every single thing and didn't have to resend anything.
Yeah.
And then on December 5th, like a full month later, EPIK finally started screening our documents. Basically what I think happened is they just had so many applications to go through. So they just took a whole month to find ours and go through ours and make sure we had everything. So 5 days later, on the 10th, they recommended us to the Office of Education, and what that means is essentially they said, hey, these two people named Sarah and Josh, they're great, and also they have all their docs and they're good to go.
They're married, so put them together.
So you can hire them and place them somewhere. And then a whole month,
basically
and
a month
half,
later.
No, a month and 5 days
Oh
later.
yeah, wow.
So we got recommended to the Office of Education on December 10th. It wasn't until January 17th.
So it was like a whole month and a half during holiday season, when we've been telling our friends and family for like basically a year at this point, like, hey, we're moving to Korea. Hey, we're moving to Korea.
Where are you going?
Have you found out where you're going? Where are you going? And it's just like, I don't know. We don't know.
We had to leave like mid-February.
Yeah.
So, you know, basically we got placed a month before we had to leave. And it was a little chaotic.
For sure.
So for those who are preparing to do this, just
start getting ready early. Start packing your clothes.
Be ready for like
selling things.
Yeah, like
getting rid of clothes you don't want to bring or take. Like, just start preparing.
Because like once you get to that point, once you're recommended to the Office of Education, you pretty much have a job at that point. You don't know where you're going to go. You don't know, when specifically you're going to go, because you could essentially get placed in late intake.
Yeah.
But
so it's like waitlisted, basically.
Yeah, but you more than likely have a job, so start preparing then. So that's basically what we told people. They were comforted in that, I think. I think that are watching us now. I don't know. Were you comforted?
Let us know in the comments below.
Plug those comments.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it helped like comfort them and make them feel a little bit more secure that we weren't just flying to a country and not knowing what we were doing.
Yeah.
Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
Nothing. It's just again, try and keep cool.
It was a whole. It was a lot. Every morning. It
was a lot. Every morning we're looking at our our emails. We're looking at this. We're looking at that.
Stressful, and it was also stressful because we were part of a group chat. So like the messenger that they use here is called Kakao, and so they had different
Facebook groups too.
Facebook groups, but they have intakes. So that's what they're called. We were part of the spring intake. So they have like the whole intake was in this one group chat, and every single day for a whole month they were like, oh, I got placed, oh, I got placed, oh, I got placed, oh, I got placed. And
You're
Josh
just constantly
and
hearing like, oh, I got placed, this and that. Like, it's like, that's great. Where's mine? Where's my placement?
Literally. And I remember the exact morning I woke up, checked my phone.
It was like 6 o'clock in the morning. I had to go in at Starbucks at 6:30, and she like woke up when I woke up. And I just remember, like, I went to the bathroom and I come back and she's just like
sitting on the side of the bed, like looking at my phone, half asleep, and just going, get up, please.
And I was just like, yes! It was super exciting. Went into work super amped up.
So I also want to take this time to explain that we wanted Daegu. Yes. When you apply, you can put a city in which you prefer.
Put 3, right?
I think 3.
Up to 3 cities you prefer to like be placed in.
May or may not be placed there. You will probably not be placed where you want to be placed for your first year. And that's honestly fine. Like, we're happy with the city that we got.
It's a good starter city.
It's a good starter city for us, so we were happy with that.
Yeah.
But, okay, so at this point, on the 17th of January, we did not know which city we were going to be in, just which province.
Yeah, so basically, province is equivalent to a state.
Yes.
So it's like, hey, you got placed in Florida. Where? I don't know.
Nowhere else.
So
from then on, we started looking at different videos of like what's in Jolabukto.
yeah,
and,
what's
like,
it known for?
what's it known
all
for,
sorts
the
of
bigger
stuff.
cities. And then on the 20th of January, we got our contract sent to us.
Yeah, basically they're called an NOA, basically a notice of arrival contract. So part of it's used for you to sign to send back.
Yeah.
Part of it's actually for you to keep a copy because then at this point you have to apply for your visa.
Yeah. So basically because if you stay here more than 1 year, you're gonna have to re-sign all of your contracts. Basically, every year you stay, you get a new contract. So every single page has to be signed, and you have to sign like 5 copies.
Yeah.
So they sent us. We didn't receive them until the 22nd of January. So once we received them, we literally just started signing.
Reading through them and signing.
Yeah, we read through every single page. I recommend you do that. They do have them in Korean and in English.
Yeah.
So you can easily just like read and take a picture of them if you want. But so you sign each page. It was a pain.
My hand was sore.
My hand was sore too.
And one thing about the contract, as far as we can remember, we didn't have to pay postage to send it back.
Yeah.
It was kind of like a prepaid mail situation.
If we figure it out later, I'll add it into the cost. On the 25th, we purchased our plane ticket. So the plane ticket itself, we had been doing research and watching plane prices for a while, obviously because we knew we were moving here. We just didn't know when. So we actually found a cheaper version through Delta. How much? I don't remember.
Our tickets ended up for our full ticket was $933 each.
Which is, I would say, pretty cheap for the average.
For the
average.
It really depends on the airline. It depends on where you live. It depends on the time of year.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of variables. It might be cheaper right now because of COVID and the airline industry is struggling. There was one other thing I was gonna say and I forgot.
Extra luggage?
We did. So one of the things we were worried about was the extra luggage, but with international flights, you get 2 free check bags with most airlines and then 1 carry-on like most. We did pay a little extra to have like the, was it the emergency row? It wasn't the emergency row.
Yeah, it was an emergency exit.
Because we wanted more legroom because it's a 20-hour flight.
Bad idea.
Bad idea. One, almost everyone stood by us when they wanted to get up and stretch, and there's no air vent that like points down on you,
Yeah,
so it got toasty.
It was really nice to have the luggage that we had. So we have a 3-piece set each.
Yeah.
Packing was very chaotic, and we don't use half the clothes that we brought.
Yeah.
So I would say vet through your clothes and make sure you're going to use what you bring. Like, he brought a bunch of ties that he's never worn once.
I brought clothes where I was like, I'm gonna be a teacher, like I should dress, pretty professionally. And then you kind of don't have to really dress as professional as you think. You can.
You can.
If you really want to,
obviously.
you can.
I mean, we do dress semi-professionally. Like, he wears slacks and like a nice sweater, and in the summer he'll wear like a polo.
I'll wear a polo and
like
slacks.
I wear skirts and dresses most of the time. But there are places that are far more casual. Like some of my schools, they wear jeans, and I could wear jeans, but I just don't have any right now. So I'm actually waiting for a pair of jeans. I'm really excited.
I will say one quick thing to learn when it comes to getting clothes here in Korea. Learn what your sizes are in centimeters.
Oh yeah.
Because it's a different kind of measuring system.
Sure.
They don't really do. A lot of places won't give you the like inch size in inches. So
I think maybe we should do a video on like our experience here, and I think that's when we can talk about the clothes, going into more detail of like what our first year here was like. I can say sentences.
Yes.
So bought our plane ticket, and then on the 27th we sent in our visa application.
Yeah, so unfortunately with a lot of this stuff we were able to prepare super early, but some of the things like buying a plane ticket and applying for a visa we literally couldn't do until we got our contracts. Like in order to apply for visa, you need to send in a copy of your contract.
Yeah, like because it's a specifically
to get the
work
visa.
visa.
Yeah,
so
it's a work visa.
You need your work contract to send in for your.
Yeah, so we did that. Applying for the visas, from what we could find, was $30 each. There was really no option to expedite it.
Yeah.
It's the government. They kind of work at their pace, but it was fairly quick.
Yeah.
I will say it was like we sent it in on the 27th, and like 4 days later we got them back.
Yeah.
Like you also send in your passport with your
Yes.
your visa application, and then they literally just attach your visa to a page in your passport and
Exactly.
send it back.
So then I'm gonna rewind a little bit. On the 28th, we purchased the Corvia pre-orientation. So Corvia offers like a few days before official orientation, we'll do a pre-orientation where we put you up in a hotel and you get to experience Myeongdong and
if you arrive in Korea on the day like it starts, they'll pick you up from the airport.
Yeah, it was honestly like
there were
really
several
nice.
things to it. Yeah.
So we ended up. We'll talk about this in another video in more detail. But we got here a few days early so that we could kind of like experience Korea before we started working.
Kind of get the jet lag out of the way.
Corona was the thing.
Yeah, little did we know what Corona had in store for
So
2020.
we purchased the pre-orientation and they basically like, it was how much?
It was 300 each.
300 each.
So
It's not required. You don't have to do it. We just thought it would help a little bit. And
yeah,
it did.
and it did. We met people that we still pretty much stay in contact with till today. This day.
It basically, it allowed us to meet people before we went to orientation.
Yeah, and it is not required. And also, even if you didn't use EPIK, or sorry, even if you didn't use Corvia and you applied just directly to EPIK, you can still purchase the pre-orientation package
which
and
is
go.
also nice.
Which it's cool.
So then on the 31st, like he said, the visas were returned, and then like 13 days later,
Basically 2 weeks later, yeah.
boarded a plane, missed Valentine's Day.
Yeah, we were literally on a plane during Valentine's Day.
And then got here on the 15th.
Yeah.
So that was our complete timeline of applying to EPIK. It was a lot of waiting. It was a lot of waiting.
Yeah. One thing I will note, something we learned from our new teachers that just got here a few weeks ago, because of the current climate with COVID and everything, they actually had to pay an extra $1,600 to get quarantined when they first arrived in Korea. So they were actually quarantined for 2 weeks, and then they had their orientation with EPIK. So it was $3,700 without the quarantine.
$3,700, no quarantine.
Basically, without the quarantine, for both of us, $7,400 for us to move to Korea with everything. Now, keep in mind, if you have the quarantine, it's basically $5,300 for one person to move, $10,600 for two people. Which is a good chunk of change. That's a lot of money.
So I would also like to include that they recommend you bring about 1,000 to 1,500.
We forgot about that.
When you get here, just because for obvious reasons, you will be unemployed for the first month. No one will be paying you.
Yeah.
Well, not really for the first month, but like until until the first month.
No, it's the first month.
You won't
like
get your paycheck until like we got ours in March.
Yeah, so like your contract starts.
February 26th.
Your contract starts February 25th, but you don't get paid until March 25th.
Yes.
You get paid once a month.
So it's basically to survive that first month without being paid. And like, honest to God, we brought extra and we didn't need to. We were kind of like, that doesn't sound like a lot to live off of. We currently live off of way more than that. And then once we got here, everything was super cheap. So we ended up having extra when we got paid.
So I will say like probably a minimum like $1,500.
Yeah, just for cushion.
The $3,700 was including $1,500 for a month, which is on the higher end of what they expect you to come with. But keep in mind too, when you get paid that first month, you get your flight reimbursement back. So you get basically equivalent to like $1,200 USD.
So we not only did we have like two incomes essentially, but my father and my stepmother were amazing enough to give us some money for both the wedding and our trip here. So we did have that, and they were amazing for doing that, and it really, really, really helped us. I don't think we could have done it as easily without them. I think we would have
absolutely
had to
not.
pick up extra hours or pick up a second
We would have had to
job.
budget a lot harder.
A lot harder, yeah. It would have been much more difficult for us.
Yeah. We also were saving ourselves, so like we were budgeting super strict that year, and like any extra money was either going towards our saving for Korea or our wedding. And then other than a handful of actual physical gifts, when it came to our wedding that we had in September, we were just like money. We had a website cash registry. That was a really good cash registry that really didn't take any money from us.
No percentage really.
And then we also had like a cash box at our wedding where people would drop in.
I think the other thing that we did both with Christmas and our birthdays and with our wedding is we asked for like extra stuff. So, you know, for example, like he has a specific deodorant that he uses and I have specific hair product that I use that like I, you know, since then have found out that I can easily buy here, but we didn't know, and same with him, like, but we didn't know that coming here. We used those holidays and those occasions for people to buy us extra stuff instead of like random stuff we weren't going to use or have to sell by the time that we moved, because we were literally leaving everything behind.
So it's like we don't need,
we didn't need China.
We don't need China.
No.
We don't need like a new, you know, pot set for cooking. It's like we can't take that with us.
But we did need suitcases. We did need
like we needed suitcases. So like
luggage.
Her mom got me like a 3-piece luggage set for
really
Christmas,
nice,
and someone else, I think your
Sherry,
Aunt Sherry
yeah.
bought her a luggage set for our wedding because it was on our registry. So stuff like that. Like
sell as much as you can.
We sold a bunch of furniture, clothes.
I mean, at the end, it got to a point where we're just like, just take it.
Yeah, for sure. But like big things, we sold like, you know, there's, you know, OfferUp and Facebook Marketplace, you can sell things and clothes.
Friends and family might want to buy stuff.
You can do a big garage sale type thing where we did that with some of like her coworkers. And I mean, hey, if at the end of the day, this is not the best financial advice, being the fact that I'm the budget guy, but if at the end of the day, you gotta max out your credit cards to get here, do it. Because guess what? When you get here, you are gonna be financially stable.
Like I have a credit card and we actually ended up using some of it for the wedding. But we've easily paid it down, like no problems while we're being here.
Yeah. You'll be financially stable enough to pay it back, no problem.
And even if like you have to take a loan from a family member or a friend or something, like again, you can easily pay it back. There are really easy ways to send money home. With little to no cost to you.
We can go over that
in another
video.
Infomercial. Little to no cost to you. You can send money home.
Send money now.
Call 1-800.
Send money now.
Budget boy. So with that, I think we're going to end this video.
Yeah. It is it's gonna be a long one. So if you stick around for the whole thing, thank you. We appreciate it. If you don't, we also understand. It's a long freaking video.
Time and effort. Is
if you gotta watch it in like multiple pieces, hey, do what you gotta do.
Do what you gotta do.
More views for us. What? Who said that? Who said that?
I don't know. What was that? That was weird.
But like we said, we'll have a
You can do it.
The cost added up at the bottom. We will have timestamps so you can skip ahead if you want to, go back, whatever the case is.
I mean, there's not going to be a cost thing at this point in the video, but there was a few minutes ago. So as far as our next video, I'm not sure when it's going to come out. We want to post...
we're trying, guys. We're trying. We had some troubles with our editing software. We were on vacation.
We also filmed everything this way.
Yeah, we made the dumb mistake where we filmed everything with like our phones, just the way we hold them.
We want to post stuff from our Seoul trip, but if we don't, we'll go again. And
we'll get there eventually.
We'll figure it out.
Just stick with us.
Please.
It's a learning curve, you know?
We're funny, okay?
We try to be. We think we're funny.
I don't know if we actually are.
You guys let us know in the comments below.
Oh my god, stop!
If you think we're funny.
Okay,
hey, we gotta get engagement.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Thank you so much for watching.
Thank you.
We really appreciate you guys. All of our friends and family supporting us.
Yeah.
All of our viewers that aren't friends and family, thanks for hanging out.
You guys rock.
And if there's someone watching this that wants to come, good luck.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah.
If you have any questions, reach out.
Reach out. When you get here, reach out. We are more than willing to help. We know the struggle of being here alone.
We like making friends.
We like also making friends, so just
hit
let
us
us
up.
know. Hit us up. We're always on our social medias, so you can message us on Instagram or
Twitter,
hit us up
Facebook.
on Twitter, just to hear if you want to comment. But yeah.
See, now you're doing the comment thing.
Oh God.
Anyways, thank you guys.
Thank
if
you
you
so
liked
much.
what you saw, subscribe below.
Hit the like button.
Hit that like button.
Yeah,
All
because
right.
you like us.
Whoop, whoop. All right. See you guys.
All right.
Till next time.
Bye.
Bye.